So earlier, it was a good thing it cut off, because who wants to watch 15 minutes of me rambling? Like you could follow my threads anyway. I've noticed that I do a lot of tangential fractal storytelling. I could tell a story straight through, and I'm excited to kind of branch off and go over here and then come back around, kind of spiraling around, fractaling. I mean, part of it is doing it again. Alright, I'm gonna hold that, set it over here. I can do that too. Come back to the ukulele, come back to the way that I tell stories, finish up the game, mention the Superhero Training Academy and Visionaries. Constant shout outs to people that I love, and maybe tell you what I'm doing with the rest of my day. Look, it's a violin. Somebody give me a bow. Luckily I have a bow. What beautiful music it's making! Yep. So yeah, I mean, there's any number of ways that you could play with this thing. If you were to hand this to an infant, they would know how to play with it. They might not know how to make really pretty chord sounds and chord progressions and pluck just the right notes to match up with the song that you're singing, but you can sing the song. I mean, you've got your vocal cords and the notes in your head. This is a musical instrument. This is accompaniment, a tool to accompany you. And when you're holding on to it, it becomes an extension of your body, and so you can learn how to do that cool stuff. But anyway, if you were to hand this to a little child, they'd pick it up and they'd pull the strings, maybe slap it, so it's a drum. You know, maybe somebody would pull this thing off and play with that. Maybe they would grind on these things. And an adult in the room would probably be all like, "Don't do that, you're gonna break the ukulele." They're the ukulele and they're exploring with this thing. And they might break it, which is why it's valuable to give them instruction and to allow them to care for it in a way where you can still use this instrument in the way that many people intend it to be used. Incidentally, if you want to teach me how to play it in that other way, the way where you go, I'd love to learn. That'd be great. I can make up chords. So what's a chord? You're like, you're using fancy musical language. So you tune this however you want, till it sounds like something that isn't causing you to die internally. Like if you feel like, ugh, there's a cat screaming in the alleyway, keep cranking on these until it's like, I can listen to that. Okay, so that's what I've done. And then a chord is when you push down a string near one of these metal ridge deals, and then you strum it again. And it changes the four sounds together. And then you push down another one near one of these metal deals. Hey, we got different sounds. And sometimes you'll push on one and it'll sound like a cat screaming in the alleyway. But that has meaning too. I mean, there's a context in which that sound has utility because it evokes a certain So, finding the utility in things. Which brings me back a little bit to Marimba. The game Marimba, invented by myself and Xylophone, is a game of context shifting. It is based on the premise which I found in the book, which I was about to tell you. So, that sentence, jumping back, rebirthing, friend Jess, Jai, New Vrindavan, West Virginia, 2012, December. Ooh, December 2012. The sentence was this. Every statement is equally true. What? Or, of course. yeah, I knew that, duh. Or, no. Every statement is equally true. That sounds like he's a moral relativist. Kill him! Every statement is equally true. Oh, you sound like an existentialist. What do you mean I sound like I just read a statement in a book? I don't even believe that that's true. I also believe that it's true. Because every statement is equally true. Do you see the meta humor there? Do you not see it? Do you sort of see it? Do you all three at the same time? Every statement is equally true. In what statement, in what context could that possibly be justified? What does that mean? It means that every statement comes with a context. And that statement is true in so much as it exists in this book. Oh, okay. And that statement is true. Because it exists in this book. It's true because I'm saying it to you. That's a very surface level of meaning. But, does it have deeper meaning? And the deeper meaning that it points to, finger pointing to moon, you're the moon. The deeper meaning is that the way we use words is that they point at meaning, or they're expressions of meaning, but inherently they are empty of meaning. They are a vessel to contain meaning. And if we have a mental structure where our words and statements are dissonant, then the meaning might kind of flow out like a broken vase trying to hold water, and it'll flow all over. And the dissonance that you're trying to hold it together is going to cause friction and pain, and you're hurting my vase. I want to set it over here. Don't touch it. Don't try and fill it with meaning, because if you try and fill it with meaning, it's going to hurt. Yep. Guess what? That's how words work. That's how your mind works. That's how cognitive dissonance works. That's how you use your mind. Your mind, like your words, is a tool. A tool for what? A tool for life, of which you are an expression. As I said to the police officer who arrested me at Cove Point, Maryland, you are a manifestation of all being. Congratulations! What the fuck does that mean? What does it mean to me, or what does it mean to you? Because it doesn't mean anything. It's a vessel for words. I could also say you're not a manifestation of all being. That could also have meaning. So the truth, subjective or objective, exists independent of the words, so that I can just make some words and I can make it mean whatever I want if I shift my perspective, if I wear a different hat, or if I take off my hat, or if I take off my shirt of racism or bigotry or rightness and wrongness. If I get naked and I let go of my perspectives, maybe I could see someone else's perspective. Maybe I could see how what they're saying emerges from the truth of their own experience, and that they are grounded in the same objective reality as you are, and that their truth is coherent with that and doesn't challenge your truth, and that you're okay, you're beautiful, you're perfect, and you matter. And all those things are true in a certain context, and in another context they're complete bullshit. But when you touch that, you're touching the moon, and it's like, ooh, yeah, well, then you know it, I was recently watching a video, all washed over by machines of loving grace, by some British guy whose name I'm not remembering. I love the music at the very, very beginning. It's very, gets me bouncing, makes me think of my love, Mariana de Causerie. Mariana Ascaldia de Causerie, Mariana Blue, the Indigo One, something. Mars, watch that video, listen to the first song, you'll know what I'm talking about. Or anyone, there's a context in which it makes me think of you too, even though I don't know you. Because, in the words of my brother Bill Hicks, all matter is merely energy condensed to a slow vibration. All consciousness is one. We are all the experience of that one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. Life is but a dream, and we are the imagination of ourselves. Here's Tom with the weather. Oh, the many manifestations of the one reality that we are all a mosaic, little piece of that mosaic, but we are also the entire mosaic. We're just experiencing it from this one reference point, sort of, maybe. Anyway, it's all bullshit anyway. So, every statement is equally true. So the game Marimba that Xylophone and I invented was that, well, I asked her to come up with a nonsense statement, and her name up until that point wasn't Xylophone. Her name, I think, was Emily? Is still Emily? And I said, come up with a nonsense statement. She said, okay, my name is Xylophone. And I said, nice to meet you, Xylophone. She was like, There's a way in which when we use the verb to be, it changes all of reality. If we want it to. We can let it go, too. You know, I can let go. Her name doesn't have to be Xylophone. But to me, I will always remember that her name is Xylophone. When we name something, we change it. And we give it this thing that it can connect to other things, too. You know, Zimbabwean music and the way that we play notes, and they together, they either dissonant or they harmonize. You know, we are a symphony of life. And we've gotten very, very good at doing things in many, many ways, but not yet that good at playing in harmony together. Can you imagine 7 billion souls playing music together? Neither can I. But it's something I'd like to see. Maybe not all in a giant sphere at the same time, but in the entire sphere of the earth, if we were in harmony, and like, what would that look like? What does it mean to be in harmony? Well, for me, that means caring about everyone, walking around with that broken heart. It means admitting that your needs and my needs are one, and I want to take care of myself, and I want to take care of you. I do. Admitting that to myself. I want to take care of you. And I want to take care. It's like, I want to play with you. So life is enriched. You know, what you find beautiful will enrich me. What hurts you connects to the pain in me. I don't want to see someone lying on the side of the walk, bleeding and screaming in agony, and be like, nope, I don't care. It's not true. It's not what I feel. I do care. And I recognize that I individually don't have to be the one that does all the things. It's like, I need help. I need you. And that guy. And I need this plastic bag. And I need these movies. Like, everything that we have is a tool at our disposal for creating a more beautiful world. The video that I was watching, the third part of All Watched Over by Machines of Graceful Love, or whatever, starts off, and one of the headings for the movie is, or how we stopped dreaming and stopped believing that the world can be a better place. So, QED, I'm going to prove to you right now how the world can be made a better place. We're going to do it right now. I'm going to do it right now. In this instant, am going to make the world a better place. Ready? Okay. I heard a drop of water in there. It sings to me all day long, reminding me I'm here. Connecting to the water infrastructure, going out to Lake Erie so that I can drink, bathe occasionally. I appreciate the poetry that we live in. I appreciate my breath. And you, I appreciate you for watching this, or for not. If you're not watching this, God bless you. Don't God bless you. Thank you for not watching this. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You don't need to watch this. Take care of your own needs. If this is helping meet that and that's what you choose to do, thank you. I love being seen. I love being heard. I love being known. I want to celebrate everyone. I want to celebrate you. And I want to celebrate the person who pisses you the fuck off. I want to celebrate the person who gets hurt and the person who triggered the hurt. I want to be in a restorative justice circle with the planet. And in the context, I am. I invite you to do likewise. I invite you to learn the skills to be able to empathize with another person who holds very different perspectives and understand that their perspectives is not a weapon or an attack against your goodness. You rock. Dwayne Johnson, Einstein, Eisenstein, todos los Steins, Doris Stone, todos los Stones, Piedra, Peter, all the rocks out there. You rock, and someone else's pain and the perspective that they're in, you're beautiful regardless of that. If your parents can be in pain, you don't have to take it on. Your lover can be in pain, you don't have to take it on. You can still love them, you can still care. As Ursula K. Le Guin said, the great treason of the artist is to believe that suffering is what gives life meaning. To tell stories about suffering. I want to tell stories about how having our needs met is what gives life meaning. No, not even that. Fuck that. I want to tell stories that express and help us get connected to the truth that life is meaning, and life is filled with meaning, and that everything in life is meaningful, and that meaning very well could just be the name of life. It could be the name of our earth, the earth of meaning. The means, Ursula K. Le Guin in her book, The Lathe of Heaven. You should read The Lathe of Heaven. It saved my soul at a time when I was in agony trying to figure out how do you pay attention and how do you deal with all the crisis and all the shit going on in the world. At the time, specifically, I was very alive with regards to the crisis of civilization that Dirk Jensen talks about, and about climate change, and about environmental destruction and fishery collapse. And I had also been spending a lot of time with the homeless with regards to the Occupy in California. And I was very alive with being aware of sexual abuse and violence against women. That was very much on my mind. And really, I don't know if you can see it, but I can see how all these things are connected. You know, they all have the same cause. And so that if we're really going to heal one, then we're going to get to heal all the rest too. And that is active hope. Hope can be fuel for action, but as U.S. Marine Colonel Michael McNeil points out, hope is not a course of action. Hope is not a course of action. Hope is not a course of action. If hope is your course of action, you're basically masturbating. And that seed that maybe you're not masturbating enough to even produce seed, but if you hope yourself to orgasm, you know, that could produce fruit somewhere in yourself or others, but hope can conceive fruit and action. To be able to see that the world can be made better. Have I just made the world a better place? I believe so, and I think I can prove it. I believe that if you look at the whole sphere of all existence, for me, when I appreciate something, my life in this present wonderful red now becomes more wonderful. And yeah, later, maybe I won't be like in that, but that's part of the fabric of space-time, that moment. And I can't get rid of it. It's there forever. This is here forever. Even if you kill me and you destroy this computer and you destroy all this stuff, this appreciation is now part of reality. And, like the economists say, when something appreciates, it goes up in value. You say, that's just a bullshit idea. Well, maybe. My direct experience is, when I appreciate someone else, my needs are better met. And often when someone receives the appreciation, their needs are better met. Like there's like a lightness and a coming to life. So it's like life is happening, you know, growth is happening, and that can be killed, but the life can't be killed. So it might be temporary. I mean, everything is. Buddha, blah, blah, blah. You know, fleeting and transient. But in the moment when appreciation is happening, there's this. So I appreciate you if you're watching this or not. If you're watching this, I don't know what I appreciate, because there could be, depending on the way the internet works these days, there could be 13 people watching this, there could be 13 million, or more, or less, maybe 2, just me. And so in this moment, I can most concretely appreciate getting this off my chest, feeling lighter. If you can't tell, I could talk for hours. The other day I was at a poetry slam for social justice, and there were like 100 beautiful souls in the room, and I wanted to know them all. And the format was that, a person would go on stage and talk for 3 minutes and share their words. And like after each one, I just wanted to go and like cry with the person and hug them and like talk with them and connect with them and give them my love and my support. And I was like, next! And I'm like, ugh. Beforehand, I was circling. I mentioned this on another video. I was circling around them like a shark. Because, in my mind, it's like, you all came here to listen to me. You don't know it, but I know it. And I felt like a boxer. Yeah. You're going to listen to me now. And it was like 2.5 hours before I got on stage. And at that point, I was like, oh, I'm so tired. I've had 1,000,000 poems go through my soul. Turn me over. I'm dead for the night. But if you were there, you remember, I brought it. There was conflict on stage. What I did is I got on stage and I was like, I stood there and I asked the people who were there, am I dancing right now? And I heard someone say, I'll ask you, person watching this, am I dancing right now? Do you understand the context in which I am and I'm not? Because of course I'm not dancing. My lips are dancing. Uh-oh, I'm dancing. Can't stop my lips from dancing. I go, my lungs dancing to the rhythm of mitochondria and red blood cells. That small dance of life. Micro adjustments in my hip bones and my sits bones keeping me upright. The dance of the muscles in my lower spine, the upper spine and neck to hold myself upright, because if I wasn't dancing at all, I would be dead. But then the parts of me that we call me would go dance with the carpet on the floor, and my blood would spill out and fall into the wooden slats in the floor and trickle down into the ceiling and drip into the sink. And like the drip in the bathroom would go drip, drip, drip. Did you know that your brother had just decorporealized in his room? So yeah, I'm not dancing right now. Not in the sense that it would usually trigger most people to think, hey, that guy's dancing because he's doing this. Well, now I'm doing that too. So now I'm dancing. So anyway, I was on stage and I said, am I dancing right now? And I heard someone said no. And I said, who said that? Who said no? And I got no response. And then the man who had invited me to get up on stage, the man who was facilitating it, he said, Michael, come on, we gotta wrap up. He's like, get to the poem. And I looked at him and I said, you don't think this is poetry? And so then I went to the audience and I'm like, is what I'm doing right now poetry? What I wanted to do, like one of the poems that was in my head, or one of the words, some of the words that I wanted to say, because I believe there's a context in which everything is poetry, everything is dance, everything is graphic art and design, everything is science, everything is engineering, everything is making love, everything is sex. At the end of the day, we're all sex workers. Thank you, Stoya, for that one. When you start playing marimba, if you play with really big generalizations, which I like to do, I like it. I like this job. I like it. Yeah! I feel great! Have you seen that Nutri-Grain commercial? You're a great guy. You're gonna do great things. Heck, I'm gonna come with you. You're hot. I just quit my job. Let's get married. That's alright, but only if we can make lots of babies. Yeah, babies! It's kind of what I feel like. Well, I lost that thread in the exuberance. I feel great. I like this job. I like it. I don't know. I'll remember. See, the great thing about all these threads was like, If I come back later, I can like find the thread and be like, oh yeah, I can trail it down that way. I forgot that I had forgotten it being over here. But you know, like all these threads are connected, and you pull at one and they connect all the others. That's some of the insight brought by Dominic Barter. And so when you have these okay, so I remember the thread. Big level generalizations. So you can make you can make a statement like, there's a context in which I'm going to get hired at this job. Well, sure there is, you know. And there are a lot of things you could do to prepare for that. But it might not correspond with what actually happens. There's a context in which Amanda Palmer accepts my invitation to be a Valentine and invites me to come down to her thing and buys the ticket for me because I don't have any money, and gets one for my friend Milo, and we get to meet you. This is the context that I have a fantasy about and a dream. Might not correspond to reality. But it might. Amanda, I'm here. My phone number's on my everything. You can find me if you want to. It's easy. Trying to practice the art of asking. People also need to practice the art of listening. So thinking at these high-level concepts, you get a lot of this in nonviolent communication, like thinking, like contextualizing everything in terms of feelings and needs and requests and observations. Like each one of those is a very powerful lens to look at things through. And looking at things is like everything is a science, everything is art, everything is poetry. You know, like when it's like the context where like everything is. Well, yeah, you might not get that job, but in failing, that failure is this beautiful work of art, this tragic thing, and you could turn it into that, you know. You could turn your life into a beautiful poem or a beautiful movie. Yes, but everyone can't be an artist. We have this rigid system where the artists are here, and we've got the 1% billionaire bankers up here, and we've got most of the people enslaved at the bottom, but really everyone in the whole system is enslaved to the system, which needs to exist because the system needs to exist, because the system needs to exist, because the system needs to exist, because the system needs to... You know that if we all understand that we're artists, we can still do the things that we need to do to survive. I love digging in the soil. I would love farming and growing food for you if I had faith and understanding that my brothers and sisters were also going to have their needs supported. So you, the industrial machine, the Matrix, and the third fucking movie, is so afraid that if we step out, you're going to die. Well, some parts you might. We're the internet. We don't need the internet. We're the internet. Ask me to play you a YouTube video. I'll do it for you because I love you, if I have the time and energy. And if I don't, you can practice the art of asking and ask someone else. We can all live together. Literally, I've done it. Walked from DC. No, that would be going backwards in time. Walking from DC to Cleveland, I did that if you travel backwards in time this way, which was fun. I moonwalked the whole way, and I went from feeling amazing to horrible in a sort of cyclic way. Cleveland Heights. Forward in time, from Cleveland Heights. I walked from Cleveland Heights to Washington, D.C. It took about a month. And it was painful, it was painful, it was painful, it was joyous, it was painful, it was painful, it was joyous. It was painful, joyous, 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 D.C. And along the way, slept in, you know, a room with 20, 30, 40 other people, walking every day. It hurt. Why did we do it? Because we love each other, we love life, and because climate change is happening and it's real. I don't care if you're in the Senate and you don't believe it, but we're causing it, and it's caused by the same things that cause racism and poverty and homelessness and child abuse and rape and starvation and wars. So if we can solve climate change, then we can solve all the other things too, but it takes all of us. Which is the good news. That's the good news! The good news! You're the special. Yes, you are. You're the special. It takes you. We need you to get involved. No one else can do it for you. These days, you gotta do everything yourself. It takes a culture where everyone has the skills and the heart and the care to be a charismatic leader. And we can teach those things. I could teach you what I know how to do. Might be hard, but I think the most important thing is your willingness. And I can attempt to inspire that willingness. I hope I'm doing that right now. And if I am, then maybe I'm also making the world a better place that way. But it's not me. It's just life in me. And it's just that I've done a lot of the work to heal up the pain and the blockages inside of me so that I can not be afraid of what you're thinking about me, not be afraid of what some people might think or do and respond to this. So I can get connected to that I care and that I can think and understand that this has value, and it helps motivate me to do this. Thank you, Rafe Esketh, for talking about motivation and the 6 levels of motivation. Superheroes, Training Academy, Laughing Moon. Laughing Moon, Rafe Esketh, levels of motivation. He is the best. I'm saying it. It's also not true, but it's also true. He's the best elementary school teacher in the world right now. He's also not. I'm sure there are people who are better. Llewellyn Grace, Teenage Liberation Handbook. Totally helped liberate the heck out of me. Derek Jensen, huge lens of the world around us, casting bright light. Most people don't like paying attention to it, but it's valuable. Michael Dowd right now is a brilliant pastor and preacher in the Church of Reality. And he's online. Check it out. Michael Dowd, online. Michael Dowd. 55 speaker series, visionaries. Each one of them is holding this beautiful piece. Learn from them. And please, learn from me. Because everything I know how to do, there's a video online of my arraignment at Watkins Glen before I spent 8 days in jail, Watkins Glen. And I point out that I know how to juggle 6 balls. But when I was 8, I knew how to juggle 0 balls. So, you go from 0 to 6 in 22 years. I've seen a friend of mine, Bill Roddy, learned how to juggle 7 balls in a year. 7 balls a year, because he wanted to. So I'd like to inspire you to want to learn how to do the things that I know how to do, because most people who knew me from my past were like, what the hell is this? I didn't know Michael